ready for a little escape. Today, we're diving into 2 days in Kuala Lumpur, a blog post by the Wayfaring Foodie.
Our mission, to help you, the listener, craft your own incredible 48 hours in Kuala Lumpur.
And this isn't just any generic guide. We're talking about maximizing your experience with insider tips from the blogger herself, Shelby.
Yeah, she seems like someone who gets those Instagrammable travel moments, but also craves authenticity.
Totally. Like picking Kuala Lumpur just for those iconic rooftop pool photos. Been there.
It's that blend of modern and historic that makes KL so unique. Not to mention the diverse cultural influences, Malaysian, Chinese, Indian.
And don't even get me started on the food scene. Okay, so where does Shelby suggest we base ourselves?
She recommends 2 very different vibes, Bukit Bintang or KLCC.
Okay, lay it on me. What's the difference?
Bukit Bintang is your spot if you're all about those bustling street markets, street food aromas, and a more budget-friendly experience. It's actually where Shelby stayed, at a place called Salon Suite.
Ooh, tell me more about Salon Suite.
She loved the rooftop pool there, but heads up, limited lounge chairs. So, stake your claim early.
Noted. Nothing kills the relaxation vibe like a chair scramble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, if those postcard-worthy Petronas Towers views are calling your name, then KLCC is the area for you.
A bit more upscale, though, right?
You got it. Shelby recommends Ascot Star KLCC, particularly for families.
Ooh, why is that?
They have 2 pools, one for the kids, so everyone gets to soak in those city views.
Okay, I'm sold. But before I book my flight, how do we actually get around KL?
Shelby's a big fan of Grab, the ride-sharing app. But, and this is crucial for planning your time, she warns about potential traffic nightmares and sometimes limited drivers.
So factor in that extra travel cushion just in case.
Exactly. However, for those who prefer sticking to a schedule, she does mention KL has a pretty reliable train system too.
Okay, good to know we have options. Now, let's dive into day 1. Where does Shelby kick off her culinary adventure?
Get those taste buds ready because she starts her day at a spot called Dough by Meg. And we're not talking your average donut shop here. Think Thai tea-infused dough with sesame cream cheese.
Whoa, that sounds next level.
Yeah.
Okay, but after that sugar rush, we'll need to burn off some calories.
Right. Shelby's got us covered. It's off to the Batu Caves.
The iconic, colorful stairs. Love it.
She highly recommends going early to beat both the crowds and the heat. Oh, and watch out for those monkeys.
Monkeys. Okay, this just got interesting. Tell me more.
They're known for being a bit mischievous, shall we say.
I'm both terrified and intrigued. Okay, before we get too caught up in primate antics, what about lunch?
Shelby suggests a quick bite at the Surya KLCC Mall. Plenty of options. And its location is strategically genius.
Why is that?
It's right near our next stop, the Petronas Towers.
Yes. Time to check that one off the bucket list.
Big tip. Book your observation deck tickets in advance.
Good call. I can imagine those views are in high demand.
Totally. But if you'd rather keep your feet on the ground, KLCC Park is a fantastic free alternative.
I love that Shelby includes options for different preferences. And speaking of preferences, I'm all about experiencing local cuisine. What does she have planned for our taste buds tonight?
Get ready for a culinary adventure because Shelby highly recommends the Sambal Streets food tour.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
It's all about those local flavors and dishes you might not find on your own. A true foodie adventure.
Okay, that sounds amazing. I'm all about those immersive food experiences. Okay, day 2 in Kuala Lumpur, and I'm feeling energized, ready for more exploration. So, where's Shelby taking us for our morning caffeine fix?
She recommends LOKL coffee. Think stylish cafes, seriously good coffee, and a menu that goes beyond the ordinary, like Thai omelet on rice. Who knew?
I'm in. But after that delicious detour, it's time to dive into KL's history and culture, right?
You got it. Shelby suggests hitting 3 historical landmarks that really tell the story of Kuala Lumpur's evolution. The Sultan Abdul Samad Jamek Mosque, Merdeka Square, and the bustling Central Market.
I'm already picturing myself getting lost in those market stalls, searching for the perfect souvenir. Any standout details from those 3 sites?
Merdeka Square is home to one of the tallest flagpoles in the world. Imagine the engineering feat. Plus, it's a really cool trivia tidbit to share.
Okay, I'm adding that to my mental trivia bank. Now, from historical squares to, well, are there any temples on the agenda? I always find them to be so inspiring.
You're in luck. Shelby loves the Sri Mahamariam Temple. This Hindu temple is a riot of color and intricate detail, showcasing a whole other side of KL's culture. She does mention that there might be renovations happening, so checking their website beforehand is a good idea.
Good point. Wouldn't want to miss those photo ops. Now, we've covered historical sites and temples, but a traveler's got to eat, right? What's on the culinary menu next?
Picture this. You're in the heart of Chinatown, surrounded by the aromas of street food, and you stumble upon this place called Dabo. And they serve up bao buns the size of your head.
You had me at bao buns. Chinatown is calling my name. While we're there, are there any other foodie finds we should check out?
If you're looking for a late afternoon cocktail, Shelby recommends Capitan House. Just a heads up, they open a bit later in the afternoon, so plan accordingly.
Noted. I wouldn't want to show up craving a cocktail only to find out it's too early. So after indulging our inner foodies in Chinatown, what's next on our itinerary?
Well, Shelby knows that a well-rounded traveler needs more than just amazing food. She suggests immersing ourselves in the world of art and history with a visit to either the Islamic Arts Museum or the National Museum. She gives a good overview of both, but if you had to choose, which one speaks to you more?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm always drawn to art museums, but I'm also fascinated by history. To be honest, they both sound incredible. Tell me, what makes the Islamic Arts Museum so unique?
What I find most interesting about the Islamic Arts Museum is that it showcases how Islamic art has been influenced by different cultures, particularly Chinese, Indian, and Malay. You'll see firsthand how these cultures have intertwined, reflecting Malaysia's own diverse heritage. Plus, they have a fascinating exhibit with models of mosques from all around the world, including a replica of one from New Mexico.
Wow, a mosque in New Mexico. That's not something you hear every day. Okay, you've convinced me. That's definitely going on my list. It's amazing how travel can open your eyes to unexpected connections like that. Now, since we're on the topic of mosques, Shelby also mentioned the National Mosque of Malaysia. What makes that one special?
The National Mosque offers a fascinating contrast to the historical Jamek Mosque. While the Jamek Mosque is a beautiful example of traditional Islamic architecture, the National Mosque is a modern masterpiece that reflects Malaysia's growth as a nation.
I'm always up for contrasting architectural styles. Soaking up all that history and culture is amazing, but let's be honest, sometimes you need a little retail therapy. Any suggestions for those of us who love to find unique treasures while traveling?
Shelby recommends carving out some time for Bukit Bintang. Whether you're on the hunt for one-of-a-kind souvenirs or designer finds, Bukit Bintang has something for every shopper. It's a maze of shops, boutiques, and malls just waiting to be explored.
Ooh, dangerous for my wallet, but I can't resist a good shopping spree. Speaking of completing our KL experience, any suggestions on how to finish off our 48 hours in style? What's our grand finale?
Get ready for another unforgettable culinary experience because Shelby raves about Jalen Allure, her absolute favorite street food spot. It's not just about the food, although she highly recommends the dry chili chicken. It's the energy, the sights, the sounds. It's a feast for all the senses.
Dry chili chicken. Sounds amazing. But you're right, sometimes it's the whole atmosphere that makes a meal memorable,
Yep.
and you can't beat the energy of a bustling street market.
And for a sweet ending, Shelby suggests trying their coconut ice cream, served right in a coconut shell. It's as delicious as it sounds, and let's be honest, totally Instagram-worthy.
Okay, coconut ice cream served in a coconut shell. That's calling my name. But before we wrap up our culinary journey, what about those stunning rooftop bars we talked about earlier?
You know Shelby wouldn't let us forget about those. She does suggest ending the night with a cocktail and those incredible city views, but she offers a practical tip. Rooftop bars can be a bit on the pricey side, so she recommends checking if your hotel has one first. Remember those amazing views from Salon Suite and Ascot Star KLCC? You might already be in the perfect spot to enjoy a nightcap without breaking the bank.
That's a great point. But for those of us staying somewhere without a rooftop bar, any recommendations for those iconic Petronas Towers views?
Absolutely. Shelby recommends checking out either Blue at EQ or Alva KL. Both offer those breathtaking views, but be sure to make reservations, especially if you're traveling during peak season.
Duly noted. I'm already picturing myself sipping a delicious cocktail, watching the city lights twinkle below. What a perfect way to end our 48 hours in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, we've covered so much ground in Kuala Lumpur, from street food feasts to historical landmarks, but this deep dive is about making this trip uniquely yours.
Exactly. It's all about personalization. And lucky for us, Shelby offers some great advice beyond the itinerary itself.
First things first, when's the best time to soak up the KL experience?
Well, KL's climate is pretty consistent, hot and humid year-round.
So pack those shorts and sunscreen.
Exactly. If you're looking for the driest months, she suggests December to February or May to August, though those peak seasons might mean more crowds and slightly higher prices.
Makes sense. Now let's talk transportation. Getting around a new city can be tricky. What are our options in KL?
Shelby breaks it down perfectly. For getting to and from the airport, she highly recommends the KLIA Express train. Efficient, comfortable, and avoids the traffic.
Music to my ears. Nothing ruins a trip like battling traffic jams.
Tell me about it. She also gives tips on navigating the public transportation network, like whether to go for single journey tickets or travel cards. Oh, and she even has advice for ride sharing and walking.
Wow, she's thought of everything. Now, beyond the practical stuff, I'm always curious about cultural nuances. Any packing etiquette we should be aware of.
That's so important, right? Shelby's really mindful of this, and she stresses the conservative dress norms in Malaysia, especially when you're visiting religious sites.
Right. Remember those sarongs we talked about for temples?
Exactly. It's all about respecting their customs.
Absolutely. Now, are there any must-pack items besides the essentials for a tropical climate?
Don't forget outlet converters. Malaysia uses plug type G. Oh, and she recommends getting an eSIM from Airalo for easy, affordable internet access.
Staying connected is key these days. Okay, let's talk safety. Is KL generally a safe city to explore?
Shelby assures us it is. Of course, like any big city, it's always a good idea to be aware of your surroundings, especially in crowded areas. Just be mindful and you're good to go.
That's good to hear. Now, what about the budget? Is KL easy on the wallet?
One of the things Shelby highlights is just how affordable KL can be, especially the street food scene and public transport.
But there are pricier options too, right? Like those luxurious rooftop bars.
Totally. There's something for every budget.
Love that. Before we wrap up, any final words of wisdom from Shelby?
She encourages everyone to, really embrace the spirit of exploration. Don't be afraid to go off the beaten path, discover hidden cafes, get lost in the markets. Those are often the moments that become the best memories.
Couldn't agree more. It's those unscripted moments that make travel so special.
Totally. It's about taking a well-crafted itinerary like Shelby's and making it your own.
This deep dive has been incredible. I'm feeling so inspired to book that trip.
Me too. And before you go, listener, one last thing to think about. Shelby talks about KL's unique blend of modern and traditional. What one thing will embody that contrast most powerfully for you? How will you experience that fusion firsthand?
What a great question to ponder as we wrap up our deep dive into Kuala Lumpur. It's a reminder that everyone's travel experience is unique, but whether you're drawn to the ancient temples, the bustling markets, or those glittering skyscrapers, one thing's for sure. 48 hours in KL is an adventure waiting to happen. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into somewhere new.